Hey everybody, I'm Dave Lewick, the Trapper Guy. I'm a nuisance wildlife trapper in the Tampa Bay area, Florida, and I'm doing a video on hog hunting with night vision on a crossbow. Now normally for my feral hog control, I'm doing trapping, but sometimes trapping just isn't a good fit for that job. Sometimes the customer doesn't want trapping and wants hunting, and even on jobs where I do trapping, you have to incorporate hunting afterwards sometimes because there's a couple of smart hogs that won't go in the trap. Now this particular job here I worked on over the past few months, the hogs were coming in and doing a ton of damage on their lawn. Not to mention they were coming out of a local wildlife preserve where they were doing a ton of ecological damage on native plants and animals. So let's go ahead and check things out.
So we got a call from a customer. And their playground got hit by hogs last night. This is what the lawn used to look like. And this is what it looks like now. Hogs also did some damage outside the playground. And it looks to me like what they did, they've gone all along this back side of the fence, but right here, if you can see this fence, they pushed underneath that. So they didn't go in the opening that I had just walked through. They went through here, and I think they tried to get out here, and one of them wasn't big enough. And what they did, I don't know if you can see how that's bulged out. I think it kind of freaked out and smashed into it and just knocked that fence out. So, pretty sure that's what happened. I'll check to the owner, but I don't think any children got in a fight and smashed themselves into the fence like that. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get set up and see how I do tonight.
Now you might be wondering why a crossbow, and the crossbow's quiet, and I'm in an urban area and there's actually a lot of homes not too far away, and it also has to do on a lot of jobs with getting permission to use firearms from the local police department. And for you hunters out there, I'm not going to get too in the weeds about my gear. You can ask me questions in the comments, but I'm using an ATN X-sight II HD and a Barnett Raptor 2 crossbow and a Rage broadhead. And a coyote showed up, but I'm not after coyote. And of course the deer showed up, but they're not causing any problems and I'm not after those. But after a while, the pig showed up. Now that was my first night on the job, and I wanted to set up on the lawn right there, give them some instant relief from the hogs coming in and tearing up the lawn. And I gotta tell you, I'm really glad I'm gonna be moving my setup back in the woods where I could be sitting in a chair in a blind, because I think that night I sat about 3 hours prone position in the dirt. So we're gonna get set up back there and we'll see how we do the next time out. Well, got all set up in a blind, had the bait out for a night or two. Ready to rock. And as usual, deer showed up. And even some crows showed up. Hey Trapper Guy, are there gonna be any hogs in this hog hunting video? Of course there are. Now that group there came in right at dark, and my thought process when a group comes in with a crossbow is I usually want to get the biggest sow or the biggest one that's in there, because they're the biggest breeders. So I had that one black one that came in, and then a bigger black one came in behind it, and then off to the side, that big black and white one who was obviously a breeder, she came in, and then she got spooked by a big crackback in the woods. And then there was even a huger crackback in the woods, and they all ran off. And when you know it, a tree fell in the woods. But luckily, that biggest black one came back in because it had a mouthful of corn. And it had a hungrier belly than it was worried about the scary noise in there. So anyhow, got to harvest that one. So we'll see how we do on the next time out.
Well, wasn't expecting that. I was going to come out and get set up in my blind out here, and 3 of them came in, and I'm downwind from them, so they didn't know I was there. So I just stayed real still, stalked up to 20 yards, popped up as much as I needed to, and I got a real good hit on that one black one. So go take a look and see where he's at.
Now I got a few more hogs on that job, and I also got a lot more on some neighboring properties I'm also working on. So they've kind of cooled off right now. I think the rest of them anymore, they've kind of moved back into the preserve, but I'm sure they'll be back at some point. So I have cameras out there monitoring everything. Now remember, these are feral hogs, so even if I trap them, they're all gonna get euthanized. They're non-native, they're very destructive. You can't relocate them like I do the other native wildlife, like opossums, squirrels, things like that. And if you guys are wondering what I do with these hogs after I take them, well, make sure you subscribe, because I'm gonna have another video coming up, and that's gonna show what I do with them, and it does involve barbecue sauce. And hey, remember that playground that I showed you that was all destroyed? Well, just a few months later, this is what it looks like. So hey guys, take care and thanks for watching.